Now he's won with 4 different manufacturers. Dominic, I lost count how many teams it's been now that he's won with. Even with just one championship, what he's been able to do from team to team, car to car, different eras and such. I mean, he's got to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, right, David?
Well, I mean, everything you guys, he's a wheel man. I mean, he's one of the best, and 20 years, I think he would have probably retired if if he couldn't get the job done. Kurt Busch knows that when he steps inside, he walks inside a racetrack, gets inside his race car, that he has a shot at winning. And he's been with so many different teams. But what he brings to the tables is his expertise. He understands the race car. He knows how it works. He knows what he wants in a race car. He really he helps a lot of these different organizations. And I think it was awesome for 2311. I think it was a brilliant idea for Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan to bring a Kurt Busch into an organization that's just as new, brand new like they were. And, I think Dominic and John maybe spoke about it. Hadn't had the success that you thought they were going to have right outside the box in the opener at Daytona. But I knew it wouldn't be that far away until we saw Kurt Busch, come to the front, obviously, and you're right, Tyler, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And I love it that 22 years later, and I think Jonathan mentioned it, he's won in 19 seasons of his 20-year Cup career. Amazing. It's just amazing. And it's a testament to his ability and his talent level. And, the guy, you look at Kurt Busch, he's still in good shape. And I think that burning desire to win and to compete is obviously still there. And, man, I think it's awesome. I hope to see Kurt Busch win, 10 more years from now. Who knows? But it's, to hear Jonathan speak about that longevity as a Cup racer. But what's interesting about it is how long he's been a winning driver. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, you look at some of the superstars, Hall of Famers of the sports, and man, they were good for 12 years, 13 years, and they kind of faded away or fell off.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte is a great example of that.
Yeah, but man, you look at Kurt Busch, man, 19 years has won a race, and out of his 20-year Cup career, it's just amazing, And then here he is, 20 years into a Cup season. I don't think we've seen the end of Kurt Busch anytime soon, And I think they're just probably. Y'all were just talking about Bubba Wallace. I did not watch the race. I'm hopefully going to watch it tonight. But to have Bubba Wallace finish 10th in the top 10, I mean, that's seems like 2311 is starting to hit their stride. And with the support of Toyota, and they're great engineers and their crew chiefs and, the Michael Jordan brands and all the brands that are behind that organization, how it is, guys. We talk about it every week in and week out. Once you win that first race, and seems like more will follow. You know what I mean? So I think we can. It'd be interesting to see how the next 2, 3, 4 races turn out for him. Because I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see Kurt Busch, be one we'll be talking about that's a championship contender again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Dominic, for me, the thing that's so fascinating too. If we said, let's go back, let's say even a year or two ago, Kurt Busch wins at Kansas, we're like, okay, cool, I guess. There's not much of story to it. But with the circumstances that we were talking about this past weekend, now he's in the 2311 Toyota car, the 45, had the Air Jordan colors on it and such, and that 45 number, of course, with the blessing of the Petty family and being on the anniversary of when Adam Petty passed away too, and the number 45, what it means to them. I mean, all of that was so unique. This was not just a regular win at Kansas by any means.
I think you're right there. And Justin Long, the NBC Sports, wrote a really good feature on that. And I think that's something that's certainly going to, Jonathan, I think you could agree with me, that will be up for an award with the National Motorsports Press Association, how well that was written and how well that story was told. But my gosh, 34 wins, Kurt Busch. In this story detailed career, he has been consistently, he always makes teams better. I think that's what the legacy of Kurt Busch is going to be when we look back 10, 15, 20 years from now. We look at Kurt's contributions to NASCAR. Every team that he was a part of, he made them just a little bit better. He elevated that team's stature and made them a little bit better. He found it, he left it a little bit better than he found it, as they would say. And Tyler, I think you have a really cool story I think that you should share with our audience, because you did get the chance to talk with Kurt, and there was that uncertainty when he made that video driving the one car on Key West Bridge. Is he going to retire? Is he going to run the next gen car? He actually talked with you a little bit about that.
Yeah, I remember it was, this was the Kansas race weekend 2021. Yeah, it was 2020. It was right before the pandemic when we knew the next gen car was on its way. When we thought it was going to come in 2021 at that time. And I remember asking Kurt, I said, because he had that cryptic video, with Monster, and everybody's like, what does this mean? So is he retiring? And I asked him, what's your future in the sport look like? And there was uncertainty at Ganassi at the time, because we all knew Ross Chastain was working his way up and such. And Ross has proven that obviously he belongs in top equipment. But I remember him saying to me, he said, look, I want to keep doing it this, and I want to race this new car. He made a point that he wanted to drive the next gen car. And if you go back and look at the test sessions, who was the guy leading the way for a Toyota in those test sessions? Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch was the guy that wanted this, I think, just as much as anybody, to see how this car would run. There were some guys that, I won't mention any names, Don, that kind of ran away from this new car, that didn't want anything to do with it. And guys like Kurt Busch embraced the challenge, embraced the opportunity. And Jonathan, I would say that it's paid off for Kurt Busch. You could see on Sunday just the excitement, the energy, the emotion he had about winning for Michael Jordan, winning in that new car, winning for Toyota.
Oh, yeah. I think every Kurt Busch win we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years has been excitement and like a first career win, because it's really felt like Kurt Busch has been on borrowed time, because back in 2019 we thought Kentucky, this might be his final win. Las Vegas might be his final win. Atlanta, again, Kansas. But, it's exciting to see, because so often we see veterans get deep into their career. They're excited to win. Of course, you kind of get into that point where you're winning, going. I like to see it. And also, I love seeing Denny Hamlin's reaction as well. Jamie Little was doing, of course, the interview on pit lane with him, and Kurt came by, and we got the in-car camera and saw Denny and Kurt interact, and Denny had tears in his eyes. I mean, how often do we see that, of Denny Hamlin tearing up and being excited? And you saw Kyle Busch there, of course. That's been fun to watch, has been Kurt and Kyle. Back in 2007, you remember the All-Star race where they said they wouldn't be invited to each other's Thanksgivings and whatnot after they wrecked. And now after every time Kurt Busch wins, you see Kyle Busch cracking a smile, excited, having fun. It's all around. It's just fun when Kurt Busch wins. And just to see, I think, too, how a veteran is still doing as well as he is. Because we've seen some, like you mentioned, so many veterans who have retired. Jimmy Johnson, we've seen Matt Kenseth, we've seen other drivers who've gone away. And Kurt Busch is still out there winning and doing well. So it just brings excitement to the sport.
Yeah, it does. It's one of the most interesting stories I think you could think about when you talk about the history of NASCAR, is what all Kurt's gone through, from Roush to Penske, and how that ended at Penske, to going to Phoenix Racing and Furniture Row and Haas and Ganassi, now in 2311, and all the bumps along the way and such. It's been quite the story of Kurt Busch on that front there.